Hello everyone, in this video we're going to take a look at the Paris Rhone SP005 True 4K Ultra HD projector. The company reached out to me and sent this unit over for review. As always, my comments and thoughts are all my own. I am not being directed or influenced by anyone. I'll start with an unboxing. If you'd like to skip the unboxing, you can use the chapter markers in the timeline below. In the box is the user manual, power cord, HDMI cable, power adapter, the remote, and the projector. The Paris Rhone is a relatively large projector. It's 11.4 inches long, 11.3 inches wide, 7.1 inches tall, and weighs just under 9 pounds. The Paris Rhone brand has been around for quite some time. In addition to projectors, they manufacture a variety of electronics, appliances, and projector screens. The SP005 is their flagship projector. I reached out to a company representative to confirm that this projector does throw a 4K image. It uses an LED light source capable of 40,000 lamp hours, so a nice long life, and it pushes out 600 ANSI lumens, which should be just fine for a dark room. It supports high dynamic range, and it can project an image ranging from 60 inches to 150 inches. Pretty standard remote. There's a power button, source, Bluetooth, setup, some directional buttons, an OK button, back button, home button, menu, focus adjustments, volume buttons, and mute. A few FYIs when positioning the Paris Rhone projector. The air intake is on the bottom of the projector, so make sure however you position it, air can get to the intake. In this review, I'll flip it over and change the projection mode. And this power adapter is heavy, so however you plan to mount or position the projector, this needs to be supported. You don't want the weight of this putting stress on the connection point. Also, the cable is a little short, so depending on the projector's location, you may need an extension cord. For connectivity, there is a LAN port, 2 USB-A ports, 2 HDMI ports, a 3.5mm audio jack, and a USB-C port. It also supports Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.0. Turning on the projector for the first time, there is the Paris Rhone logo. Nice animation. Again, this is the initial setup, so the picture is way off. Focus worked just fine. The auto adjust feature was not turned on. If it were, it would try to size and move the picture to fit the surface it's projecting onto. I'll adjust the picture after the initial setup. Here it's taking me through the initial setup. Battery install. You'll need 2 AAA batteries. Batteries are not included. Next, you'll pair the remote with the projector. Select your language. Time setup, I'll skip this part. Wireless network, I'll skip this as well. I can do that later. After setup, I was brought to the home screen. Before I went any further, I manually moved the projector to square the picture. It's not at all perfectly positioned. For this review, I just wanted the picture to hit the projector screen surface. And as I usually do in my projector reviews, it's a little closer to the screen to get as much out of the lumen output as possible. On the home screen are some apps. You can view what you've recently watched on the projector's Android TV 9.0 operating system. Then there's some quick links to other content. In apps, you can take a shortcut to video-focused apps, music-focused apps, news, sports, and lifestyle-focused. Under My Apps is File. Here you can download and manage files. There's just under 12 gigabytes of internal storage space. Mirrorcast for casting from another device. We'll circle back to settings, another casting app, and a browser. Below the My Apps bar are some links to other apps. Back to setting. You can manage Wi-Fi, set up Bluetooth connections. In projector settings, you can change the projection mode based on how the projector is positioned. There are other adjustments to dial in the picture position on your projected surface. If there are any system updates, you can manage through System Update. In other settings, you can adjust your power settings, language, and brightness. And lastly, there's some general system information. I was able to access picture and sound modes through the menu button on the remote. The picture modes include Standard, Vivid, Soft, User. You can also adjust brightness, contrast, saturation, hue. I wasn't able to access that here, maybe it's through another mode, and sharpness. For the sound modes, there are Standard, News, Music, Movie, Sports, and User. As I scroll through the audio settings, I will say the audio on this projector is very impressive. I was actually quite surprised. It has one of the best, if not the best, onboard speakers I've heard on a projector in this price range. There are 2 12-watt 3D soundscape speakers. I always recommend an external sound system, but these onboard speakers had enough volume that I could hear it just fine anywhere in the room. Regarding fan noise, at about 4 inches from the projector, it's moving around just a bit, but it looks like it's right around 55 dB. At about 4 feet, I get a decibel reading of 44.3 dB. And at 8 feet, I get a reading of 42.7 dB. And here's a look at a few light scenarios. While I could see the picture just fine in any scenario, you definitely want a completely dark room to get the most out of its performance. The brightness of this scene, along with razor sharp resolution, offers plenty of clean, clear detail. For the price, the Paris Rhone does well. Gran Turismo has razor sharp resolution and the projector is picking that up. This is a dimmer movie, so I did have to bump up the brightness in picture mode. Nice greens in this scene. And giving a balanced review here, I do have to call out motion, a little bit of judder. I did notice it in some panning and sweeping shots, but good job with color in this clip. The colors in this movie should be bold, punchy, and vibrant. The Paris Rhone's performance is among the best compared to other projectors in the same price range. In my opinion, this projector is best in SDR. In fact, this clip is from a standard Blu-ray. I like using this clip because it should be super bright, detailed, and colorful, and for this price range, the Paris Rhone does a good job in both formats, but again, personally, I lean toward the standard Blu-ray. It's brighter and more vibrant. Great scene from Immortals. The gold should sparkle against the darker elements of the picture, and it does. The Paris Rhone SP005 is a good projector. Full disclosure, I did run into a little bit of an issue with the focus and auto adjustments. Neither quite worked for me after the initial setup. That may just be this particular unit, but once I was able to physically move it and set it up, all was fine. Picture quality is among the best, if not the best, in its price range, and the onboard audio is fantastic. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those in the comments section below. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more product reviews, movie reviews, DIY projects, and home theater takes.